All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We are live. Want to take this opportunity here. I've been busy the last couple months with grad school and stuff, but today and want to take this opportunity to talk about Alex Ovechkin in his scripted quest to get to pass Wayne Gretzky, who's right here. Now, if you go back and watch some of my live streams from earlier in the year, I was saying that I thought he was going to pass Wayne Gretzky on either this date here, March 15th, tomorrow, March 22nd, or April 1st. I was saying it's probably going to be one of those 3 days. And about 2 months ago, I think I narrowed in on 322, which is tomorrow. And I guess it's still technically possible that he could pass it tomorrow if he scores 8 goals. Didn't, who was it? There was someone, I think, was it Backstrom? Did he say something like that? Here we go. There's definitely Nick Backstrom. Definitely, I saw a headline somewhere. I can't find it now, but there. I feel like I definitely saw something. It was he joked like, "Oh, he'll score 8 goals tomorrow" or something like that. Now, as I said, I guess it's technically possible, but unlikely. Anyways, Wayne Gretzky has something that I came across last month. I was trying to find if there was a connection between Barry Bonds, Wayne Gretzky, and Alex Ovechkin. And something that I found out was that Barry Bonds hit 762 home runs. All right, 762. We're going to type that in here. 762 is the 626th composite number. All right. Now, Wayne Gretzky scored 800, wherever it is, 894. 894 goals in his NHL career. All right, well, actually, we're going to try this the other way. 894 is 626 in base 12. Okay, so that's interesting. So Barry Bonds, 762 home runs, 600, which is the 626th composite number. They have Wayne Gretzky with 894 goals, which is 626 in base 12. Well, Alex Ovechkin was drafted. He was drafted on 626, June 26th. And what's interesting about that is I've talked about this a lot already. Is that June 26th is normally it's normally the 177th day of the year. This year it was a leap year, so didn't quite count, but still 177th day of the year in most years, which is the day leaving 188 days of the year. And the Jesuit order, 177. All right. And then something that I've found out about 626 is that it's a semi-prime. And for those of you who don't know what a semi-prime is, it's a natural number that is the product of two prime numbers. Another way of saying it is excluding one in itself, its only factors are prime. And we go down here and we find out 626 is the 191st semi-prime. So let's just keep that there. Society of Jesus, 191. And then we remember that, as I've talked about before, let's just pull up the date that he was drafted. 2004, sorry. 56 date numerology. Yeah, there. Once, as I said, it's normally the 177th day of the year. It was a leap year, so 178. But 3 times out of 4, it's the 177th. 56 date numerology. And the arena was at the RBC Center. RBC Center. It's another 56. And then when Alex Ovechkin won his only Stanley Cup, let's see, it finished on June 7th. Alex Ovechkin's birthday is September 17th. So if we just take the distance from that, that's 263 days, which is the 56th prime. And also remember Alex Ovechkin's first ever NHL goal, which was also in his first ever NHL game. Here it goes, against Columbus in a 3-2 victory. Um, the game wasn't in Columbus, but the team is still from Columbus, Ohio. Columbus, Ohio, 153 and 54, just like Jesuit order, 153 and 54. And yeah, also don't forget, let's pull up Capital One Arena. The Capitals played in Capital One Arena. Get the joke? Uh, but if we look here, yeah, August 9th, 2017. Right, so from the day that it became known as Capital One Arena, that was on the day leaving 144 days left in the year. And that was just a hair over 43 weeks before the Capitals won the Stanley Cup in their 43rd season. 302 days, 32 sunrise on the Jesuit logo. Ovechkin's first ever game, scored 2 goals in a 3-2 victory. The first win of that series for the Capitals by the score of 3-2. Yeah, 43rd season, final game was 4-3. Yeah, and also combined with the fact that Ovechkin was born on, let's scroll back up here. So if we look up U.S. Constitution, right? Ovechkin was born on the day the Constitution was created, and the Constitution eventually became effective on March 4th, when March 4th is the day leaving 302 days left in the year. Okay, with all of that said, I am prefacing this. Actually, I'm going to pull up my Twitter account because I made a post on this. So give me a second here. Let me find it. Here we go. All right. I'm going to copy paste this right here. So for a while, once I realized that that Ovechkin was kind of off the pace to break the record on either tomorrow or April 1st, I was thinking for a while it might be April 1st because they had that plane crash right outside the Washington airport, which I made a video on, and they said a lot of the skaters were from Boston, and they were Russian as well. And remember last year, Ovechkin broke Wayne Gretzky's empty net goal record in Boston on the 41st day of the year. And I was thinking, oh well, they're playing Boston on 4/1 this year. I mean, it still could happen, but he'd have to score one, two, three, four, five. He'd have to score 8 goals in 5 games, or is it 7 goals? 7 goals in 5 games, which isn't impossible, but it's less likely. Okay, the point I wanted to make here. Just after he scored the other day, that was a huge 201 ritual against the Sharks, by the way, his goal. They said he's on pace to set the NHL's career goals record on April 12th in Columbus. And that made me realize, wait a second, Columbus, the team he scored his first goal against, and that would be 6 months and 26 days after his birthday. Now, what's even more interesting about this date, here we go, 6 months, 26 days after his birthday, It's on 41 date numerology. And now what's interesting is that the Columbus Blue Jackets, let's look up the Columbus Blue Jackets here. The Columbus Blue Jackets are named after their name is in tribute to the Civil War, all right? Now, if we just go to the American Civil War, it started on April 12th. Oh, look at that. So if we type in Civil War here, I'll get to this in a second. Civil War equals 56. And April 12th happens to be the day leaving 263 days left in the year, which, as I said earlier, is the 56th prime. And they said here the Civil War, the main issue was slavery. Slavery equals 102. It's the 102nd day of the year. Slavery also equals 42. If Ovechkin breaks the record on that day, it will be his 42nd goal of the season. And then also just if we type in Columbus. Oh, I didn't type it in correctly. My bad. Hold on, I need to. No, maybe was it Columbus Blue Jackets? I can't remember now. Shoot. Give me a second here. There was some, maybe it was the 188. There was something about, shoot, I don't remember what it was though, but there was definitely something either about Columbus or Blue Jackets. Okay, well I'm forgetting what it was, but if we look at how many games out that is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You'd have to score 7 goals in 10 games, which I think is very possible. I don't know what his rate is as of late, but that would make a lot of sense. I mean, it would kind of be tying everything back together. I mean, his first ever goal against Columbus, his record-breaking goal would be against Columbus. 2 goals in a 3-2 victory in his debut, 32 Sunrays on the Jesuit logo. Drafted on 56 date numerology, won his only Stanley Cup 263 days after his birthday. Could break the record on the day leaving 263 days left in the year. It would make a lot of sense. I could have sworn there was, yeah, I mean, the thing, so I said earlier how Ovechkin was drafted on the day leaving 188 days left in the year, and then he makes his NHL debut against the Blue Jackets. That's actually, I want to measure the distance between the date he was drafted and his NHL debut. So let's see if there's anything in. Okay, that's, wait, no, that's one, never mind. I'll say if it was 158, there would be something interesting with that, but it's not quite. It is interesting that it was 101 days after the anniversary of him being drafted. Was it? Hold on. Did Columbus equal? I can't spell correctly. Oh, Columbus is 110, not 101. My bad. Columbus does also equal 25. Break the record in 25. Oh, that was the thing I was looking for. Columbus OH equals 129. That was the connection that I was looking for. Okay. Yeah, Columbus OH equals 129. Alex Ovechkin equals 129. Remember that plane crash between the American Eagle and the Black Hawk? That was on January 29th. And 129 is when America in the Jewish cipher is 129. And remember, 129 is 201 in base 8. I do actually, that would be interesting to see. I want to see how many days after the plane crash April 12th is. 73 days. So that's 21st prime, 10 weeks, 3 days, 27th prime. Well, I think the more important thing is that it's a span of 74, and 74 is like the number of it's the number of the of DC. Let me see where. I'm trying to think where's a good place to show a 74 thing. Uh, what was it? Oh, Democrats 47. My bad. Um, no, those are all 47. I'm forgetting which ones are 7. Well, I know our nation's birthday is 74. Is it Freedom 74? I don't think so. I'm forgetting which one's 74 and which ones are 47. I know I've talked about it before. I guess if we just go to, well, we can go to my YouTube channel because I definitely talked about it before. Let's go to your videos. Scroll down a bit. Go to the next page. Here. Okay.
Growing up as a fan of
Let's just skip forward a bit. Where do I start talking about 47? Here it is, 74. Okay.
1974, it was a fitting year for our nation's capital, as our nation's Independence Day is 7/4. In Gematria, holiday, Jesus, cross, Masonic, gospel, Jewish, and Messiah all equal 74. Washington Capitals equals 211, the 47th prime.
Okay, yeah, that was it. And then the Capitals the other day had they beat the Ducks 7-4. Yeah, that was something. But I wanted to go back to semi-primes because I mentioned this to Zach very briefly, but there's definitely something here with semi-primes. 169 being the 56th semi-prime is kind of interesting because 169 is 13 squared. And coming this date of April 1st coming up is actually going to be interesting for Ovechkin because we go from 9/17 and April 1st. It's 169 days before his birthday. As I said, 169 is well, that's interesting. 169 is the 129th composite number, and it's the 13th square. At 169, what did we say it was? It was the 56th semi-prime. 169, 56 semi-prime. That's very interesting. To me, the one of the more interesting ones here was 93 being the 32nd semi-prime because, um, as they say, the sun is 93 million miles away and there's 32 sun rays on the Jesuit logo. That one is very interesting. And it's also 111 being the 36th semi-prime. That's interesting because remember 666 is the 36th triangular number. And then you have that Sumerian cipher where you multiply everything by 6. Like computer is 111. As soon as we go to Sumerian, then Sumerian at 666. Again, 666, 36 triangular, 111, 36 semi-prime. That is very interesting. There's probably some more interesting ones in here that I'm just not really catching right. 201 being the 63rd semi-prime. And that's kind of interesting as well. Also, I'll talk about this probably later. I don't know if I'll talk about it today, but 77 being the 26th semi-prime is interesting. Um, could be a potential thing with the Stanley Cup this year. Stars is 77, the 26th semi-prime. The last time they won the Stanley Cup was 26 years ago. Okay, yeah, there is actually. I do want to segue this a little bit into the my next topic. All right, so it's unclear when the Stanley Cup Finals are going to start. Last year, the Stanley Cup Finals began on no, they didn't. They began the day before that, or 2 days before that. They began on June 8th. So this year, we're going to assume that they're going to begin on June 7th. June 7th will be interesting because that is Mike Modano's birthday. Obviously, Mike Modano won the Stanley Cup with the Stars back in '99. He won the Stanley Cup 13 days after his birthday. Dallas is 13. Um, but also, he's from the Detroit area, and he spent 1 year with the Red Wings at the end of his career. See that there, and also another player who won the Stanley Cup with the Stars and then spent a little bit of his career at the Red Wings was Brett Hull. And Brett Hull and Mike Modano are known as probably the two greatest American hockey players of all time. So he Stars and then Red Wings, and he even won the Stanley Cup with the Red Wings in '02. But this actually kind of ties into the what I was talking about earlier. So I mentioned this earlier how Brett Hull was born on August 9th, which was exactly 1 year. Well, there's a lot of Patrick Kennedys. That's the problem. Yeah, here it is. Exactly 1 year after JFK's infant son died. Then JFK was assassinated in Dallas a few months later. And then Brett Hull scores the game winning goal for the Stars in the Stanley Cup. And then just about a month after that, JFK Jr. dies in a plane crash. Come on. Anyways, what is interesting is that the Dallas Stars, if I didn't mention this already, this is the day leaving 144 days left in the year. Just to confirm that, August 9th is the day leaving 144 days left in the year. As I mentioned earlier, Jesuit Order 144, Kennedy Curse 144. Just move this up here. There we go, 144 and 54. But what's very interesting, the Stars and the Red Wings play each other on April 14th. That's a date that can be written 14/4, right? If we go from that date until what could be the start of the Stanley Cup Finals, that is 54 days later. That is, to me, that is very interesting. And if we look at the standings right now, the I don't think the Red Wings are in a playoff spot because they've slumped a little bit as of late. Yeah, one, two, three, four, five. Yeah, the Red Wings are 4 points out of a playoff spot with 14 games to go. I mean, we saw last no, it wasn't last year, 2 years ago, the Panthers snuck in and then they end up going all the way to the finals. So it's not impossible. I think about a decade ago now, the Kings kind of did the same thing. They snuck in and ended up winning the whole thing. So yeah, it could happen. Um, and I said if the Stars are in the Stanley Cup final and it starts on June 7th, it's definitely in tribute to Mike Madonna. All right, what else is there to talk about? Don't really know if there's any more to talk about. Um, all right, Julia, I'm considering blocking you. But because I'm nice, I'm not going to block you. Okay. All right. That's it.